Hey guys, Catfish, Mac, we are late again. Tonight, I don't think we want to go into the reason why. Just know it was case related, and you will get updates as soon as we could possibly release those. But I'm Dennis, Megan, Dan, Alex, Muddy Water Search and Recovery, and thank you for being here tonight. I
Thank
don't
you.
know about you guys, but it has been hot as all get out up around here.
Triple digits here.
Yeah,
So we're
Well,
supposed to be
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
yeah, it's been pretty hot. So and looks doesn't look like it's gonna give up. Looks like we might have some flooding coming too, with all this
Yeah.
flooding from up north in Iowa as it makes its way down here. I know the creeks and rivers over here are pretty up, pretty high already.
So we went over the Missouri River yesterday, and it was significantly higher than it has been in the last several days, which it's been up pretty good for a little while now anyway, but
Yeah.
it's come up quite a bit over here.
At least you guys are seeing a possibility of rain. It's been dry since April in our area.
It has rained and rained and rained, and it seems like it rains about every 2 or 3 days up here pretty good. We might have some good thunder, some good storms out of it, and then it's just downpourish type rains, and then we go 2 or 3 days with nothing, and then it just starts all over again. So
I would openly welcome the rain just if it would cool it off just a little bit.
yeah.
See, we just run out and jump in the kids' swimming pool to cool down. We look kind of goofy
Okay.
sitting out in
I
the
don't
kids' pool,
care.
but man, when it's hot, it feels good.
I still prefer this over snow.
Oh yeah. I'm getting to the age where I don't like snow anymore. I don't
Mm-mm.
like it being brutally cold. But then again, I don't like it brutally hot either. So I like the in between. So, well, what are we going to start off with?
First off, yesterday morning I woke up, went outside, done some stuff, come back in, got my phone, and had two voicemails. And these were really cool. It was two different individuals who called just to tell the team thank you for everything the team's doing. They think the team's doing a really good job. That felt really good because, we talk a lot about what we actually do, but we don't really go into the details of, you know, all the work that gets put into this. And then to get something like that, it feels really good. It shows we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. And to the two ladies that called, thank you very much for doing that. That meant a lot.
That's awesome.
And
Thank you.
I messaged the team and told them about it. I saved the voicemails, and we'll be doing a team meeting, FaceTime, and I will be playing those for the entire team as well. Mary
Awesome.
Lee, Edgar, Gunner, Melissa, B. Hope you guys are doing well.
I'm telling you, today was an eventful day.
Well, what kind of updates do you have, Dan? What's been going on in your world in the everything that you're working with currently?
Well, I'll hold off on mentioning the incident that just occurred, so nobody catches on. But everything else, I still am disappointed with Amber Alert. But I did have a pretty good conversation with El Paso PD, so I'm not disappointed with El Paso. Still a little upset with San Antonio PD because they're not releasing information like they should be, and that's critical.
Yeah. What was this past week's statistics on alerts?
I think
Was
we
it?
only had 2 this week.
Yeah.
That's too many, but thankfully it was only 2 this week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because lately it's been 2 or 3 a day. Sometimes there's been occasions where there's 5 a day.
Wow. Well, that's good that it's been down a little bit. You know, the best number would be 0, but you know, 2's better than 5 or 10. You know, a week.
Mhm.
So hopefully people just pay more attention to their surroundings and everything that's going on, and try to catch stuff before it happens. So
So yeah, definitely paying attention to your surroundings. That's a critical thing. And without going into too many details, today's living proof of paying attention to your surroundings.
absolutely.
Yeah, really hopeful for good updates out of this one.
Yeah.
So, guys, tonight's live, it's a bit different. We haven't done this in a while. It's just a straight up question and answer. If you have any questions on any of the cases we've been working on, how we do things, anything, throw those in the comments. We will get those pulled up and answer those. If we don't have the answer for you, we will be writing that down and then digging into that, finding answers on it. And our next live feed will bring those answers on here. And if it's an answer that we may know, but it's not something we can share publicly, we'll let you know that we just can't share that publicly. Another thing going on tonight is if you want to join us on a live feed tonight, you are welcome to come on. I am putting the link in the comment section right now. You would just go to this link and follow it, and it'll bring you through. Then we'll bring you up on the screen with us. If you are not comfortable coming on this way and you would rather call in, you can call this phone number, and we have the phone hooked up to a mic, and the whole conversation will be live here with everybody. So there's 2 different ways that you could join us physically on the live feed tonight, and we'll bring these up again later on as the comments move and keep that fresh in the feed as well. So if you want to join us,
Yeah,
go ahead.
this is something new and interesting.
Yeah, Alex mentioned this to me here a while back ago. What we can do to let people call into this. And we were looking at everything. And for right now, this is probably the easiest way I could find. But there is another way we'll be doing down the road where we would have our own phone number basically that would ring straight into this.
Yeah, I brought this up to Dennis this past week. I listened to another YouTube channel, and they work on Bobcat brand equipment, and they started doing Tech Tuesdays, where you can, just like we are, where they're having a live show and you can ask questions, and you can conversate through the chat, and they'll answer your questions live. And then they started doing a phone call in scenario. And it's pretty cool because now they got all these people calling in and asking questions, and they're basically talking live. So the only thing, just like you need to do though is if you call in and you want to talk on your phone, you can't have your volume up on your computer or your laptop or whatever you might be watching. It's because it will echo really bad. So you'll have to walk away with your phone to a quiet place or somewhere else where what we're discussing is not in the background.
Saying Catfish is now drinking a Mountain Dew and Mac Randall Jr. is drinking a Coke Zero. I got regular Coke tonight.
Man.
I don't have to say what I got. Half the chat knows what I've got.
What do you have, Dan?
Water.
Oh, Red Bull. I've got water myself too. And the big giant. Oh, it's.
I was about to say that was a. Oh
That
yeah,
was-
you like my piano over here?
When did you start playing the piano?
It's been a while.
It's been a while, huh?
Yeah, I love my fireplace back there too.
It looks good. Moving up in the world. Next time you come on, you need to have the intro to the Jeffersons on. That'll be pretty good. Look at all that couch space you got now, man.
Yeah, I know, right?
Gonna have to come on down and hang out at your crib.
Go.
Yeah, Be Beautiful wants you to go play us some Mozart.
Abby.
Hey, we want Dan to look sophisticated tonight.
Go ahead, Dan. Show everybody that you can walk over to the couch. Let's just show everybody. Oh, your camera's glitching out. Oh, man.
Now watch the next live feed. He's going to have some kind of recording of piano music.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think I'll be at the beach next time. Now that
Yeah.
I
I
know
want to be someplace
Great.
cool next time.
No doubt. Well, man, nobody's calling in. Nobody's wanting to talk tonight.
And you could also put questions over in the comments if you would rather not call in or join us on a live. You could put it in the comments and we'll pull them up on the screen and answer those as well.
Yeah.
Dan is a concert pianist.
Uh-huh. Hey, it's pretty cool knowing that. And my charger just scored. It's pretty cool knowing that we can put a background up.
Yeah. I don't have to have everything in my background where I'm at and somebody's getting upset with me. So,
See, I keep waiting for Alex to get popped upside back of the head in one of the live feeds.
yeah. There's going to be a hand come out of nowhere. Oh, man.
That'd be kind of creepy.
Right.
Yeah, it would. For sure. So so on the subject of doing our experiment with the GPS trackers that we have discussed. So after, using, the Apple brand ones that I have currently on stuff, the Apple ones only will work if there is an iPhone near them for them to ping off of and work. So a lot of people had mentioned the iTrack brand or Track Eye brand, and you can get them off of Walmart, and they're relatively priced pretty decently. They have different ones, but after reading the specs on them, the battery life is terrible. So some of them are rechargeable, and they're only good for a couple of days. And I think we would like to be able to monitor this and watch it for more than just a couple days. I would really like to find something that had like a 30-day, or better battery span. The Apple ones that I have, I've had them for the original 4 that I've had them for over a year, and I have not put a battery in them yet. But they don't update unless, I just saw Dan had a red brick background.
Yeah, I was trying to make it look like I was in a prison cell, but it didn't really look like that.
But so basically, I some of the iTrack ones, they make a waterproof box, and it also evidently is an extended battery, but it only gives you like 2 or 3 weeks of battery time. So still working on this, still trying to see what the best scenario, the best outcome, for which product we could get. The iTrack, Track Eye brand ones, you still have to, I believe, get a subscription for each an individual one that you buy. So you have to pay for it. You have to do the subscription. And then you also, you each one has a subscription, and then it has a master plan, like your main cell phone plan. And if you have multiple phones that fall under it, so I'm going to look into some other ones and see. I just want something that's going to last longer than just a couple days or a couple weeks, and also the iTrack ones. I want to say that depending on how you set them up once you get the subscription, that also plays a part in how long the battery lasts. Depending on how many times a minute or a second, how many minutes or an hour, I believe you want it to ping and stuff. So that's kind of a little bit of an update on that, where we are with that.
The information I think we could learn from this would be so helpful in many of our cases, and I believe it could help other teams that are looking for missing people to help narrow down where the people they're looking for may be.
Yeah, because I definitely think it would. I think it could give some. It could, it would be some great information to see truly how far something will float and go. Hypothetically, if it's floating and it has a current, it should go all the way possibly to the ocean, depending on where it's at. But the reality is catching stuff, getting high centered. If we're in floodwater time where the water's really high and it goes out on the outer edges of the river and it's floating, and as the river comes in, it could just get stuck on the, the banks or, in fields and stuff. So, there's so much to learn from it. And, I would like to be able to get, the service with somebody that we can share it with everybody so everybody can watch and see what's going on at the same time we are.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, I don't know if you guys follow the Riley Strain case. Until he bloated from start to finish, he was underwater until 14 days after, and once he started releasing gases, he came to the surface. Is that something we have to take into factor? Do they normally all sink at the beginning until they?
A lot of it's going to depend on current, but eventually they will sink. And then as they fill up with gas and everything, and they do bloat and rise, they will come up and then they will sink again. Typically, they could rise and sink around 3 times on average.
Yeah, I know the experiment is by any means is not going to be textbook correct if you want to say that. It's just there's just no way to do this, but it's just an idea to look at something and think, okay, well, if something was floating and it was, in a current, this is possibly how far it could go if it was floating.
Right.
Um, I'm sure if money was no object and technology was at our hands, I'm sure we could make something that would deflate and sink to the bottom and put it on a timer, a hypothetical timer of, okay, well, the water temperature is this much, something might bloat within 36 hours. It comes back up to the surface and it takes off. And then, 2 days later, it sinks back and sets on the bottom. And, but we don't have that. We don't have that money and that technology to do it. We're just, trying to do it the best we can just to get some kind of ideas.
And any of the experiments we do, it's going to help us out. We will have all of our findings on this put together, and any of the other teams that would like a copy of that so that it might help them, we will get that to them. We would send it to law enforcement, first responders, search and rescue teams, anybody that it may help when it comes to finding a missing person. We'd be willing to get that out to them.
Yeah.
And like the same with GPR, once we have ground penetrating radar, we need that in some of our cases. Crystal Kipper, a prime example. But if there's another team out there that has a search coming up that needs GPR, if there's any way we can get there to help them out, we would do that. Law enforcement, again, it would get put to use any way possible to help bring missing people home.
100%. Anything and everything that's beneficial to bringing everybody home is nothing.
Right, because a missing persons case, that is bigger than us. It's bigger than all of the teams put together. It's bigger than the efforts. That comes number one, regardless, just bringing that person home. And I know I would like to see a lot more teamwork in the search and recovery and missing persons community. There's some teamwork that has been incredible. OK Diver, Kansas Missing and Unsolved, Sunshine State's on our search team, to name a few. I've been in contact with them. I believe the guys have been in contact with them, at least with some of those. And they're incredible people, incredible teams. And they're willing to work with others too to help make sure these missing people are brought home. And that's what we need to see more of. I know those 3 teams are my number one fallback when it comes to talking about other teams. but they've just earned my respect so much that for me, it's just natural to bring them up.
Yeah. As far as like teams, yeah, I would definitely say like OK Diver, Kansas Missing and Unsolved, Sunshine State Sonar,
That's a little bit of a tongue twister on that one.
and then you got the advocates also. You got the Aware Foundation. They're
Right.
phenomenal. They're always on point, accurate.
And I really like them. They do an incredible job over there.
Yeah, Kenny comes into my live streams on TikTok a lot. They're on point.
See, another one I like is Missing Persons Center. Law, I can't think of his last name, is the president over there. I've spoken with him a few times. We've talked about a couple cases. Remember Justin Seawick's case?
Mhm.
I worked with him quite a bit looking into that case, and just incredible guy. Very strong law enforcement background. He is a known professional witness, so to speak, for prosecutors, and has been incredibly helpful to them on cases where a body wasn't found in the case, and was able to help build enough evidence to get convictions.
Mhm.
And he's taken everything that he's learned through the years of doing that and has applied it to helping bring missing people home. And they do incredible over there. In fact, they just started a podcast over there with them, and I will get the link of that put up probably on our next live feed. But advocates advocates a lot of times are not boots on the ground, but they are just as important as the people on the ground.
Mhm.
They're getting that information out there. They're helping get that information to the teams on the ground, and it comes right back down to teamwork.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to mention this. Has any of you ever heard of a family telling people they don't want their missing child posted anywhere on social media?
That would set off so many alarm bells.
Well, I think we've ran into this to an extent of that verbiage of what you just said. But I mean, this isn't the first time that we've had some encounters of people just not wanting stuff talked about, really don't care to find their child. I mean, it just doesn't set right, you know?
See this situation, they wanted every Facebook or Facebook group about their child taken down. This is the one I was involved in with today here in Oklahoma. All right. They wanted no flyers posted on social media, no flyers posted on TikTok, Facebook, nowhere.
I mean, what is their reasoning behind it? I mean, somebody has had to have spoken up and asked why. What's the problem? Why are we doing this? Why are you not wanting to share? So what is, have they said anything?
Nope, they're not saying anything. They haven't said it to me. They said it to another search team. And that search team offered to come up.
Man, that would just that's just a red flag. There's got to be something wrong. Somebody's done something. You know, I mean, you know how many times we've talked about, you know, is it one sided? Is it one sided coming from the family, or is it both parents saying it that we don't want it?
It's everybody in the family, except for the stepsister.
And is the stepsister calling everybody else out saying, why are you doing this?
No, the stepsister just says, don't listen to them, keep posting it.
Wow.
Now, see, me personally, it's an active missing persons case. It's an active investigation. It is in public record. It is handled by law enforcement. So we have every right to put it out into the public. But just the fact that they're telling everybody to shut the groups down, take all the flyers off social media, take all the flyers off everywhere. It's a huge red flag. And like I was speaking to Brian in regards to this. This isn't the first time she's went missing either. She went missing back in January 2024. And the
That's
lack of
another red flag.
with the lack of transparency, see, a lot of people don't realize we don't care what the child is into. If they're into drugs, if they're into gangs, the more you tell somebody what they're dealing with, it's easier to find them. But the family's not being transparent. They would not openly admit that she's ran away before. I had to find this through investigating.
Wow. Yeah, that's something.
Hey, Barb, no, I did not get that email, Barb.
I seen an email come in from Barb.
Huh.
Bomentford?
Oh, that was a while ago that she sent, but that wasn't about. Let's see.
I agree with you, B. If they keep running away like that, there's something wrong.
Okay, she sent a. Is that the link, Barb? There's a link, but it's to a YouTube channel.
Well, how old is this person that we're talking about?
The one that I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Uh, 13.
Oh.
13 years old.
Is there anything on file concerning the parents and abuse or anything like that?
Well, we do know that the sister's husband, they live in Texas, but the sister's husband's a registered offender.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Lifetime registered offender. All the research that I've done in that whole area, there's 157 registered sex offenders in that area within a 3-mile radius. That is also in gang territory.
My word, it's terrible.
Oh, she said Josh Bohannon.
Josh Bohannon. Hopefully that was. I didn't see it, but hopefully that is an actual cause of death, or at least information on what happened, because they've done that family dirty down there.
No, that YouTube video that she's talking about, they don't mention the cause of death is still undetermined.
And going back to the case you're discussing, Dan and them, we had a case a while back ago, and this young man was 17, and he may have been 16 the first time he ran away. But we done a case layout video, and somebody 2 states away recognized him off of the video and notified law enforcement, and they brought him back home. Shortly after, he goes missing again. So we do a second video, and somebody in a different state recognizes him, gets law enforcement, and they bring him back home. He goes missing the third time. We go ahead and do a video, but we're starting to wonder, what's the full situation here? Well, this guy started commenting on our video on him and ended up getting in contact, and ended up he was being abused at home. And at this point, he had like 2 months until he turned 18. So we notified law enforcement, updated them of the whole situation. Law enforcement got involved and thankfully took care of stuff. And this guy's doing great today. He reached out several times afterwards, and life going good. So when they're go missing multiple times like that, it definitely raises the question of what's, is there something? And it doesn't always mean abuse at home. Kids are emotional anyway. I mean, it could be anything. There's been kids that's run away from home because they got their cell phone taken away. I mean, I don't think taking your kid's cell phone is abusive, but kids have run away for that. So it could be anything, but unfortunately, many times it does turn out to be pretty bad. And Be Beautiful, I agree. 3 times to figure that out, too many. 3 times too many. And I just butchered that when I said it.
Now, see, so the way this case is they were traveling to a beach in Texas. They stopped at their home in Oklahoma City at around 3 a.m. According to the family, there's no outside video footage. Somebody demolished their cameras outside, according to the family. But she went outside to get a charger out of her phone, out of the car, at 3 something in the morning, and that was the last time she was ever seen. And that was on June 13th, June 12th, something like that.
That's crazy. I mean, you shouldn't be letting kids out.
Well, apparently everybody was sleeping.
Really?
Yeah, there's a baby in the surveillance footage inside the house. There's a baby crying or saying something in a chair. There's somebody laying on the couch sleeping. They blurred out all that footage, so the family changed their stories on where the phone was found. First it was found in the car, then it was found inside the house. So I don't know what to think. There's too many red flags. I'm sorry, but if it was my child, I would want that child's face plastered on every site I could possibly find.
Yeah. Because otherwise, what's the point?
It's one thing if these people are on that like bashing the family or anything like that, but it was nothing like that. I was in that live stream. They just had a flyer up playing music.
Well, here's my problem in today's world. This is my opinion. My opinion. I'll be 51 this year. I grew up going outside, playing, doing whatever. I think some of us grew up in a different world than the current generation, but people still went missing back then. Kids still got nabbed. Kids were still going out. And I think a lot of things is growing up, my mom and dad was not my best friend. My mom and dad was my mom and dad. It was their job to protect me, raise me, to use my head and think about things. And I think kids these days, parents just let their kids go run and do whatever and go here, go there, go outside in the morning to get a phone charger. I mean, who doesn't have 10 phone chargers in a house? I mean, seriously.
I know, right?
I mean, who doesn't have multiple phone chargers? I mean, hey, I got phone chargers, multiple ones in every location in the house. I even got phone chargers on cords hooked up to Milwaukee batteries. I mean, in case the power goes out, so it's a sad thing that parents just, I'm not saying that all parents do or do not, but there's not enough proactive things to teach kids to, just because someone smiles or waves doesn't mean they're nice. The boogeyman is real. They lurk in shadows. At any given chance to take somebody, take a child, and it doesn't necessarily mean that the boogeyman is always a man. It could be a woman too, so, it's one of those things that I just wish that parents would put their foot down on things and be like, no, you're not going out and doing this, no, you shouldn't be going out to the car and getting a phone charger, why, at 13, you should be in bed by then. You should be in bed by, I mean, I'm just saying me growing up,
Now,
I was in bed by 10 o'clock.
there's a lot of red flags with that. But the biggest red flag of them all is the changing of the stories. Why change stories? If what, you don't have to change stories if you're telling the truth. If you say this happened and it happened it that way, then you shouldn't have to change it. But the other problem is there are so many communication apps, platforms, websites nowadays that they can talk without you even knowing. For example, LMK is a new chatting app where all of the messages disappear after the person reads them.
What's it called?
LMK.
LMK.
I mean,
I've never even heard of that.
It's a new thing that came out, I think, this year or last year.
Of course.
They just make it so easy for this stuff to happen.
Yeah, and that's where the problem is. I mean, like I told a few live streams last night, what I do is I put an app lock on the Play Store. That way she can't download anything without my permission.
That's what we did.
Roadblocks.
Sorry, my phone is like tripping out. Somebody's
Roadblocks. Oh my
somebody's
goodness.
somebody's blowing my phone up with messages here.
Oh, poor Alex.
He's so popular.
One. There are people being lured out of their house through the game Roblox.
Yeah.
You would think if there's a game that is designed for children under the age of 17, wouldn't they remove the private message part of the game?
Right.
There shouldn't be no private messaging aspects of any game for children. Everything should be in an open chat.
Yeah. It's so hard to not to use the word babysit, but keep track of what your kids are doing, where they're going, who they're with, what they're talking about on their, what they're talking, texting, all through the night, it's so hard.
It really is. Now, there is an app called Bark, B-A-R-K, that does help you monitor that. But the problem is it doesn't manage the in-game conversations.
Yeah.
And that's where all of this is taking place. Like, they can monitor your personal text messages, social media text messages, but they don't monitor in-game messages or, like, say, Snapchat messages, LMK messages, stuff like that. So many people are getting trafficked through these platforms, and they keep getting allowed to manufacture more and more platforms like this and make it harder for even law enforcement to figure out what was said. I mean, if you got an app that's deleting the message after somebody reads it,
yeah,
that's a little iffy for me.
that's fishy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Telegram, WhatsApp. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's too bad you couldn't. Nobody. I mean, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's an app that somebody's designed that you can put on a phone, and I'm sure if you put in cuss words and foul language, derogatory comments, sexual comments, I would think that it would pick it up and send the parents' phone an alert saying, "Oh, by the way, your kid is talking about sex. Your kid is talking about." Leaving the house in the middle of the night to go meet somebody. There should be something that would pick up on words and key phrases.
Wow.
There's been a lot of trafficking ring busts all across the country, not just in North Dakota. I mean, Florida, Tennessee, Missouri, or was it Kansas, where the 5 guys got arrested?
Oh. I don't remember if that was Kansas or Missouri.
They were trying to traffic the girl from Indiana all the way to California.
Right. Missouri. There we go.
And see, that's the problem with human trafficking being $150-something billion industry. You would think that they'd be more willing to do something to curb that on the federal level, passing laws instead of making. No, Barb. Um, Instead of giving them slaps on the wrist, why don't they just, any crime against a child, make it a serious sentence? And here's the other thing that we were discussing the other night. Any registered sex offender should not be allowed to have a device that they should only be allowed to have a landline or a phone that has no internet access. They should not be able to purchase internet. That way they can't.
That's a good idea and all, but they're still going to have their friends get them phones. You know, they'll have some excuse to get somebody else to, get them a phone line and get a regular phone, though, probably. I mean, yeah, that would be the ultimate way, is to get rid of the social media aspect of how they work the system. But I still think they're going to, that they would still try to, get their friends, whoever, to just get them a regular phone, get them, have internet put in at their house or their apartment, wherever they're living, like that. I still think they would try to get away with it,
See, not to sound political, and it doesn't matter, it's on both sides of the aisle anyway, but it seems like the people that do this seem to have more rights than their victims have nowadays. I mean, there's a lot of changes that need to be made.
And see, that's the other thing we were discussing last night. Anytime somebody purchases a cell phone, you should automatically have to enter your social security number anytime you decide you want to activate a phone.
You do, look at all
these. Huh?
I said you do.
No, you don't.
Not your throwaways.
You can get burner phones that you don't need to. And see, with those phones, they should require that. Because think about it. If they could eliminate those aspects, it would put a dent in trafficking. It'll put a dent in drug trafficking. It'll put a dent into a lot of people trying to get away with other crimes just by using burner phones. And it won't turn on unless you provide a social security number to activate it.
Yeah, that's true.
And Barb, the TBI did make a statement a few days back. There's really no new updates in Summerwell's case. They are still doing some searches, some ground searches, that sort of thing. They said they're not giving up. They're still constantly working on it. But as of right now, there's still not much more known now than what there was when she went missing. I mean, I've got to believe that they do have some information that they just cannot release publicly as long as this has been. But right now, it seems the two main theories they're looking at is, did she walk away, get lost, and just hasn't been found, or if somebody actually took her. They are still looking at video and looking for more video that may show other vehicles that was in the area at the time frame. But other than that, there's no big updates on Summer.
I just asked Shy if she'd seen that LMK app, and she never heard of it. So we looked it up on her phone, and it's for 17 and older. It's a great way to meet people.
Hey, I got a call. Hang on.
Great way to meet new people.
And Barb, that definitely can't be ruled out. I was very concerned over the body language during the interview with what's his name, Dr. Phil. Just reactions that they've put out, different things. Not saying that they are involved in her disappearance by any means, but definitely a lot of things that raise a lot of questions. And Be Beautiful, um, I'll pull hers up real quick. Kids nowadays memorize important information like their social address or phone numbers. I know our daughter Cheyenne, from the time she was little bitty, her memory has just been incredible. She remembers stuff that we got to sit there and think about for a while. And it's like, oh my goodness, she's right.
Yeah.
And I have not spoken with Alberta Leach in quite some time. I do know she has not given up on finding Randy. Um, Echo Divers, I believe it is, the volunteer fireman from down in Missouri, was up in the area not long ago and saw that Alberta and Betty was out with him. He was flying his drone, checking a lot of ponds. So she definitely has not given up. And I just hope Randy is brought home before before it's been so long that his mom is gone too. She deserves answers. Randy deserves to be found, and we're going to keep doing everything we can. We do have searches lined up in Randy's case. Some searches scheduled as well, but I haven't spoken with her in quite some time.
That's been at least what, 2 years?
Yeah. And I do know when, oh man, this has been a few months after Muddy Waters actually started on YouTube. We were invited out to Alberta's house and got to meet with her and Betty and Larry. And I mean, you see the pictures of Randy in the house, and it hits so hard. He definitely needs to be found.
Yeah.
And absolutely Summer too.
Goodness.
And had this conversation with some people not too long ago. They asked, why is it that you've got some cases that you get thrown across media nationwide, then you have other cases that you never see anything, not even local news covering that missing persons case. What is it that makes certain ones go viral in the media? Um, we have like, let's say Gabby Petito. I mean, she was a YouTuber, but she wasn't somebody that was famous or really well known outside of their local area. Yet that like gripped the national media for weeks.
Yeah.
Summer Wells was all over national media for a while, and then like a light switch, it was off. What makes certain cases stand out that the media covers, and some don't.
Yeah.
I think every case ought to be covered like that.
And I
Yeah.
think it's stealing family.
The I wondered that too, why some cases get anything and everything and it goes crazy, and other ones nothing. You don't hear about it, and it doesn't matter if it's an adult, a senior citizen, or an infant. Sometimes some of them they get absolutely nothing, and it's really heartbreaking, that some of them just that there's just nothing. It's one and done. You hear about it and then it's gone. And it's sad, and it's what does it come down to? Does it come down to kind of like what Dan was talking about earlier, how this family doesn't want anything being publicly advertised on, advertised is not the right word, but put out on social media, and then, is it the people who really push and make phone calls every 2 hours on the news and radio stations and social media that keep stuff going and keep it going like crazy? What is the overriding factor that makes one missing person's case more worthy than another one's? Which it shouldn't. They all should be equally treated. So why is it? What is it? Is it the family? Is it just a certain area, and how people act and do things? Is it their connections that they have on social media that make stuff just go crazy and go out of control?
See, everybody in some capacity has an interest in true crime. So I think every media outlet needs to have one, even if it's just a small segment that they mention one missing person's case a day. I think they need to do that and put more focus on it. They're not going to lose the ratings. They might actually gain ratings because of that, just
Yeah.
because so many people have an interest in true crime.
Yeah. Well, I think we all know that the true crime genre of social media has just skyrocketed out of control, and I think everybody, has, I can't say that everybody knows somebody, like my situation. I have a relation to Randy's situation because of high school, and me basically, my freshman year was the first year of the school districts being consolidated. And, I had, all the underclassmen from Linwood that was now at Baser when the two, school districts combined. And so that's how I'm thrown into the situation and related to it. I had a second cousin go missing, year before last. And, they ended up finding her deceased, and she had overdosed on fentanyl, So I think at some point, it's hard to say. Does everybody have a relation to somebody that's went missing or something, And is that why everybody has interest in it? Or is it just they just want to have interest in it? Did your all's dogs hear my dog bark?
She
Lena
did.
Now, see, I will say this, like I posted in our private chat. As unfortunate as it is, drama sells on social media.
Yes.
And, like, I'll give you an example. there were 2 live streams this morning when we had the Amber Alert. And both of those live streams were pertaining to the protest going outside of J.P. Miller's church. And they're screaming justice for Micah. And each live stream had over 1,000 people in it at a time. But that's not getting justice for Micah. That is just giving J.P. Miller the attention that he's craving so bad. If you want justice for somebody, you need to protest outside capitals, outside police departments peacefully. That's the only way justice is going to happen. But with Micah Miller's case, it's turned into drama.
Yeah.
It
I
seems
believe
nowadays
you.
nobody wants to watch it or read about it unless it is drama filled. Because it's like, oh, it's not interesting if it's not dramatic, or it's just if it's not a certain type of person, then I just really don't care. Like,
Yeah.
that's not how this works.
Yeah. Well, it's. I don't know. I think, and I've learned a lot that it doesn't matter how much you put stuff out there and you ask people to help, like, share, subscribe, spread the word, it, I would say 50% of the time, nothing, nothing at all. I mean, I made a video the other day on TikTok asking people, and the pictures were basically saying, like, share, subscribe, need more likes, help promote, let's keep the word going. And I think it had like 3 likes. And I'm like, people just, they don't even care to take the time just to take that finger and hit it one more time, even though they're going to back out and go look at something else and scroll up and scroll down. And I'm just like,
well, see, the thing with TikTok, it's not about the likes. It's about people actually engaging, watching the entire video. And then when you're done watching the video, you repost it or you share it, and then you like it. But they have to watch the entire video first to get it to be pushed out to the For You page. When they don't watch the video and just go in and click the like button, that doesn't help.
yeah.
See, and that's kind of like here on YouTube. We'll have people subscribe to the channel, but they won't like a video or put a comment up. And then YouTube will let it go just a little bit, and it will read that as an inactive subscriber and will remove them where they're no longer subscribed to the channel.
And I've heard that a lot lately from people. People on other channels basically telling people that, hey, if you don't, like, if you're a subscriber and you don't even comment or at least do this, that you become an inactive subscriber or something, and then you take the chance of losing your subscription. And I noticed, I don't know, it's been a couple weeks ago on my just watching YouTube, all the channels that I watched, it was like all of a sudden I wasn't seeing stuff anymore from stuff that I typically watched. And I'm like, so I go through the list, and I went through my list the other day, and I bet you I got rid of 200 plus channels that either they're inactive, they don't do anything, or I just don't have interest in it no more. So I just deleted all this stuff thinking it might help the channels that I always watch, keep getting notifications and all this and that, and it didn't matter. I don't get hardly any notifications anymore. So,
see, and I don't know if it's TikTok or them. I know there's a problem with people being notified, but I have over 36,000 followers on TikTok, and I'm lucky to get 200, 300 people on a live stream.
Yeah. What'd you do to him?
Before, when I had less than 10,000 followers, I would have 1,100, 1,200 people in each live stream.
Has it? I maybe this isn't the correct term or words to use. Is it because somebody else is doing it better or something else, and now you're not the hot thing? Is that a possibility? Is that
No, I would say it's more or less I don't bring drama to my live streams. We focus just on the case, what's released by law enforcement. I don't allow drama in my live streams.
well? That's true.
Like I said, everybody wants that drama.
I mean, I could bring some drama, but I don't do it because that's not what it's about.
Yeah.
And Barb, if you're asking about Aaron Shane Key, I don't have any updates. Anything that I've heard would have to come from Lisa. It's not something I can put out there. But other than that, I'm hoping for justice for Aaron, and hopefully that happens soon. And not just Aaron, but many of the other cases down there that families aren't getting justice. Some cases, the whole situation isn't brought out publicly. I know some of the cases we've looked in, I found things that just complete opposite of what's been put out there. But that's neither here nor there. At the end of the day, that person is deceased. And not pinning this on Aaron, there's oh man, ton of cases down there. So this is just a general comment. But many of these people are deceased. Cause of death has been completely wrong, in my opinion. Some of these I've taken to medical professionals. They've been able to confirm my thoughts on it. Taking it to, different experts who have agreed that, what's being said happened is not what actually happened. So they do deserve justice. And Dan kind of touched on it earlier. It doesn't matter who the person is, what their past is. If they're missing, they deserve to be found. If they've been murdered, they deserve justice. And it goes beyond just that person, too. I mean, if it gets a murderer off the street, it makes the street safer for the rest of us. So it benefits everybody, regardless of a person's background.
I mean, take a look at Alex Van Delsen's case, for example. I don't know if you spoke with Jennifer lately. I've spoken to her off and on quite a bit. Indiana State Police are basically trying to refuse to reinvestigate it now.
Yeah.
And it is clear that was not.
No. And that's another one I've taken to medical experts. I've taken to the gun range and spoke with men who owned a gun range for 20 plus years. Military people that done that type of investigation in the military. Didn't tell any of them what anybody else said, and yet everybody's story comes up. Alex Van Delsen was murdered, and this is a staged suicide.
I mean, even the law enforcement officers in the body camera footage said that this was obviously somebody was dumped here.
Right.
Yeah.
And Barb, have you thought of making a website and showing every case? We do have a public website still in the works. This has been this has been very time consuming because I'm putting so much into the website, but it is going to show the cases that we're working on. It's got an area to where people are going to be able to submit new cases to us to work on or submit information on a case. There's other interactive things on the website as well. Hopefully, within the next couple months, hopefully by the end of this year, I put it that way, we can get that website out publicly. But that is in the works, and the missing persons we're working on will be there as well as a lot more. There's also going to be a section of it that goes into details, what parents can do to help keep their kids safe, how to teach your kids to be safe without you. We don't want the kids to fear going out in public. We don't want them to fear walking by a stranger, but we do want to teach our kids how to be aware of their surroundings, how to be aware of the people around them, and what to do if they feel threatened. So there will be an area on the website that covers this to help the parents possibly help teach their children and a lot of different things like that. There's also going to be a resource page for anybody who may be in an abusive relationship that they need to get out of. Uh, Suicide awareness, all of that stuff's going to be on the website. So it has been a big undertaking, but it is really starting to come together. And by the end of this year, that will be out.
Awesome.
I keep grabbing the mouse for this computer and trying to do.
Now, another thing that would be good to add into that, Dennis, would be signs of human trafficking. What people can look for that would point them to believe that maybe somebody they just seen is in a serious situation, but they can't alert nobody.
That is a good one. We can get that added on there. And another part of it, and another thing I want to do is, like at work, for example, I've got people who always ask, how do you look into these cases? What do you do to find information? That sort of stuff. And I am going to put together some videos that is going to kind of break down the whole open source investigation and be able to offer that to hopefully help some people fully understand more about what we're doing and actually help them when it comes to looking up information. And that will also be available off the website as well. That one's going to be a little bit longer being available, but that will be on there. The 5th of this month, my son just turned 17. Oh, to be 17 again. No, I don't know if I want to be 17 again.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind being 17 again because, see, you know that old phrase, if you knew what you know back or know now back then, I'd be a multi-millionaire.
I would do it then.
I'd be filthy rich.
Another thing that is going to be coming out soon is I'm going to start putting out a monthly newsletter. And the newsletter will cover, it'll show the new cases that come in that month. It will have articles discussing any search efforts that took place. And it'll have other articles on it as well. and we will be emailing these out once a month. So anybody interested in joining the email list to get this, it's all free. Get a hold of me. Send us your email. The video description, it does have my phone number. I think I put Alex's phone number on tonight. It's got our email address and it's got the P.O. box number on it. But send us your email and we can get you added to the list. So Barb said me, and I do have Barb's email address. And this is just something different we're going to be doing. And if we get an amber alert or a silver alert, one of those, we will be sending that out through the emails as well to help make sure as many people as possible are aware of that.
I think it's a good idea.
Dan kills it on the amber alerts and stuff over on TikTok. And more people that these can get out to, especially while they're still missing, the better. But we just got to get some of these protocols and using the system changed and updated to where they're better used. And taking 3 days to a week to issue an amber alert on a kid that goes missing in Texas, that kid could potentially be anywhere at that point.
Yeah.
See, what bothers me is I know they have protocols. I know they have things that there's things that we can do that they can't do. But what really bothers me is how we're able to find out everything about the suspect and his family, and law enforcement knows nothing about them. I mean, like this morning, they knew nothing that they knew nothing about the suspect having ties to California. They didn't know the suspect's father lived in California, and all of the family members had ties to this dad's address.
Wow.
How can they not have access to stuff like that? Or are they just not looking to that avenue?
I think a lot of times, I think law enforcement, and I mean, I can't say this for absolute, being assured of what I'm saying is correct, but I know a lot of times I think they are happy with doing what they need to do to get the word out, and that is it. I don't think a lot of times a lot of them want to put in the extra effort. Maybe I'm totally wrong. But, if there was any type of information that could come from phone calls or he said, she said type information from social media or anything on a missing persons case, I would think that they would just be all over it and alerting other people and other outfits that, hey, be a lookout on, Route 66 for this vehicle coming through in the next, 4 hours. This person supposedly is headed that way. There's only so many major highways that go across to California, that most everybody will travel on. Nobody's going to take all the back roads all the way to California because it'd take you 2 years to get there. So I think a lot of times that they just, they get what they got and they're like, well, okay, I'll work on something else. They don't want to put in the extra effort, which, I mean, I could totally be wrong. I really could be. But I know so many times that, when we've talked with somebody or discussed stuff, it's like, oh, you'll take it this far, but you just won't go a little bit further with what we're trying to help, get you to understand and see that, you know, we could do this and it could make a huge difference in the outcome of this. And they don't want to do it.
Yeah, but no joke. If I timed myself, it only took me probably 3 to 5 minutes to find all of the family members' addresses, phone numbers, known associates, criminal background. They should be able to do that. They have more access to databases than I do.
Mhm.
See, when it comes to like taking information from somebody, especially a content creator, I sometimes wonder if the drama that we see unfold in a lot of channels and in a lot of areas, because law enforcement, they do have a budget, and if in the past they've been burned too many times by the drama in these, is that what is keeping them from putting more attention into information coming in from content creators just due to getting burned in the past from drama and that sort of stuff? Is somebody continuously contacted me and everything was drama, but any evidence that was sent to me was read through and realized it's just drama, I'm not going to believe it and be so quick to jump the next time somebody contacted me like that just from getting burned that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I just from conversations that has taken place with some law enforcement, I still think some of them, like you're saying, just they don't want to put forth the extra effort. And then some of them, I don't know. I've talked to law enforcement that had been, so thankful to get information come into them, they get right on it. Then I get the ones that act like it's a burden to even talk to you. I mean, it's
Yeah.
so different.
Now
And
I will say this: I've had more positive interactions with law enforcement when they return phone calls after alerts go out than I have not positive. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
But it seems to be localized on certain areas that they really. It seems like they feel like we're trying to beat them to closing their case than what they are. And that's not the case. We're just trying to assist them in their case.
right. Because anytime that we have to call law enforcement out, whether we're boots on the ground or whether we're getting them information to go to a location, soon as law enforcement's there, they instantly take over that investigation.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, all we can do is offer to assist.
Mm-hmm.
So if something is found there, recovered there, or found, law enforcement's going to get the credit for that,
Mm-hmm.
especially in their local media where they need that attention with that.
Yeah, but see, we're not concerned about getting the attention on us,
Right.
and that's what they seem to be afraid of because we don't care about the attention on us. We just want to find the missing and bring closure.
And that is a good point, Barb. Like some like in the Molly Miller case don't care about what happened just because a former law chief, that would be Molly Miller and Colt Haynes out of Oklahoma, Dan.
Yep. That sheriff is he's been arrested for corruption. How on earth he was able to get back on the force? I am so baffled. And then his relative was the last one to see Molly and Colt Haynes.
Right.
I mean,
It wasn't the wreck that they were in that day, wasn't that like next door to the sheriff's house or his property?
it wasn't a wreck. What it was a high speed chase, and it was, man, I forgot the name, but there's a road out there that is close to the family's property. I believe it's close to the grandmother's property or something like that.
Because I did see reports that because Molly and Colt had both called family and friends, and I believe it was Colt that had said that he was in a ditch with a hurt leg, possibly a broken leg.
Yeah. Hang on. Let me shrink my screen so I can. It didn't work. So yeah, Molly was or Colt contacted friends of his that he was laying in a ditch with a broken leg. That is correct. And there was also a phone call to 911 from Molly's phone, but it didn't really give a location, which I found to be odd. But let me pull up Google Earth, and I got it. Long Hollow Road. Never mind.
Yes.
I don't have to pull it up. It just clicked in my head. Long Hollow Road out in Love County. And I have been mapping out locations that really could be searched out there. But the number one location that could be searched out there has been turned down by judges, has been turned down by law enforcement and the property owner. And I'm sure we all know whose property that is. We don't have to go into too many details, but
And Be Beautiful, it should never be about who gets attention. It should always be about bringing the missing person home or bringing a family closure. 100%. I mean, doesn't matter what case it is. That is bigger than any of us. It's bigger than any team, and that should be the number one focus. If that's not somebody's number one focus, they need to find something different to do because this ain't for them.
100%. See, I would really like to go down to Love County. But I know that the properties that I want to search, there ain't no way I'm going to get permission.
Yeah.
Because there's 3 properties, but they're all owned by the same family.
Wow.
But I am glad to see the Bureau of Indian Affairs has taken over that investigation, though.
That's good.
Nice. So I went ahead and put the link to join us live tonight and the phone number to do a call in up again. I'm surprised we haven't had anybody call in or come on.
No, not at all.
Barb, no, he was put back on after his arrest,
I'm going to
but
grab it.
he has since retired.
Have a Dr. Pepper this time. Went from a Coke to a Dr. Pepper.
It's all right. I went from a blue Red Bull to a green.
I went from water to water.
Same.
I didn't see nothing. I seen an invisible screen.
It's the
It's
invisible.
got a translucent
That's
cup.
the Miss Stanley.
Oh wait, Alex's head disappeared.
Yeah, Tammy got me that. The giant Stanley Cup. Literally. So
That thing was as big as your head.
it was. It's huge. It's like 40 or 50 ounces or something.
It got to be bigger than a gallon jug. See, I mean, look, it covers almost your whole face.
Yeah.
I got a 32 ounce.
32?
Yep.
I really don't know what this one is.
Well,
I got 12 ounce.
40 ounce.
That's 20 ounces?
This one's 40.
Oh, I was about to say, there ain't no way that's 20 ounces.
Pretty good cup. So
what do you guys think? What do you think it would take? Say, for example, the uncle of the detective or the uncle of the police officer that was corrupt. His property. What do you think it would take? Other than proving a crime was committed there. Do you think if he passed away and one of the family members decided to allow it?
it's possible. I mean,
Well-
if somebody in the family that wasn't along the same lines of this person, and they had a conscience, and if they were a good person and they thought something had happened there wrong, yeah, I mean, they very well could say, yeah, come on in and search. But I don't know what it would take to allow someone else in to do what they need to do then.
no, I had a thought, but I know they wouldn't let you do it. But sometimes you could actually file and go in to get a court injunction on a property like that. And in certain situations, it would essentially work as a search warrant. Basically, the court would allow you to go in and specifically search what you specifically requested. And to do that, you would go into court. The property owner would get a summons. They can show up to argue against it, and you would have to prove your case to be able to do it. I've never done it. Don't know anybody that has tried to do it. What I've been able to find researching, it's not that easy to do, but it has been done in the past by others as a possibility if you have enough evidence that you think the judge would agree to get you on it.
See, I mean, there's enough circumstantial evidence to get on that property, but the judge threw it out. He denied it.
See, that's what tells me that he would not allow any type of injunction or anything like that.
You can always do the old you're here to mark the utilities.
Right?
Put on the safety vest and get out your equipment and go out, start spray painting the yard and the field and whatever you need to spray paint, and stick some flags in the ground. Now, I'm not telling people to go trespass. I'm just saying that sometimes you have to be creative.
Hey, I've done a DoorDash just to see if somebody was at a house on a case.
Really?
Damn straight I did.
Dang.
It's a good idea.
I no joke. I bought McDonald's. I ordered it through DoorDash, and I acted like I was DoorDash bringing it to their house. I said, "This was ordered by such and such name. Is that person here to collect it?" And they weren't there. Nobody answered the door.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Can't prove it.
And Barb, what hurts me is there also a lot of missing and murdered Native American people, and a lot of people don't care about it. I'm glad you said that because I am putting together, I don't know if it'll be a video or live feed, but we do have multiple missing Native American cases that we're working on. And the numbers just are incredible when you start looking them up. They're also one of the most unreported missing people and murdered people that's out there. So we're going to be doing either a video or live feed that's going into those numbers, bringing these cases to the forefront in that video or live, and doing what we can to help with that.
Now, see, and here's a little bit of a strange aspect to that. Because I went on NamUs, and you know how we're in all these missing persons groups on social media. So we see how many are actually out there being reported missing. And then you go on to NamUs or the state database, and they're nowhere to be found in there, but we know they're missing.
Yeah.
Is that because they went missing from tribal land?
I
Well,
don't know.
one of the things I saw today while I was doing some research on this is that the majority of them are not from tribal land that go missing.
Yes, that don't make no sense. They should be on the databases.
Right.
I mean, look at North Dakota, South Dakota. It shows that there's only 2 or 3 people missing in each one of those states.
Yeah.
And I call BS on that because there is no way.
It'd
No.
be nice.
Right.
Now, the other thing I noticed, and I was speaking about this on a live stream, other than the fact that there's a lot of missing photos on these missing children, but if you look up Missouri Highway Patrol missing children, there's like 670 something missing children. But you go onto the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children out of Missouri, and there's only 100 and something.
That's interesting because I spend a lot of time on the Missouri Highway Patrol website lately, and it does give you multiple numbers and search options, you know. But I wonder if over time they change the age or something depending on how long and they drop off.
Well, most of the ones that I've seen on there, the higher number of them are recent. So it's not like they would be able to drop off unless they hit 18. But
yeah,
normally you would think that every child should be entered into the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Like, for example, Maya Rudd out of Kentucky. She was never entered into the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Even if it was not for an Amber Alert, just to enter her. She wasn't entered.
huh?
That is a national database for children.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like something needs to be addressed. You know, something brought to somebody's attention. Why is there such a difference in numbers? Why is this not, documented the way it should be? I mean, it's clearly something's not correct.
And the fact that there's no photos is a big red flag, because part of the requirements to report somebody missing is to bring a recent photo.
Well, we know that doesn't happen in Kansas because majority of the people in Kansas don't have pictures.
Neither do the ones in Missouri, and I'd say at least 30% on the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children have no photos. How do you know that you're looking for a missing person if you can't see what they look like?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do? Walk up to every kid, hey, are you this person here?
Yeah. I mean, most everything that I do with the Missouri Highway Patrol stuff, they either have pictures or they have pictures and flyers. I mean, everything that I have worked on here recently. So I've only found just a handful pre-1980 that didn't have any pictures, and or flyers, and I have no reason why they don't. So
let me answer Barb's question. Not necessarily, because right now the majority of these human remains are being found by mushroom hunters that are trespassing on land.
Yeah, you would have to be able to show them that you're doing something like that and happen to come across it. Like if Alex, Dan, or I were to try to do that and they looked into us, they're going to see what we do and it's not going to stick. So with that would get thrown out.
Mm-hmm.
And if that evidence gets thrown out, there is a chance that prosecutor's going to put charges on us because we just destroyed their case for them. But if you're mushroom hunting and you come across something, that is different.
Mm-hmm. So I guess I need to become a mushroom hunter.
it's real easy, Dan. You just go around and you stare at the ground. It really is.
I'll send you a picture of a morel mushroom so you know which mushrooms to pick, Dan.
I'm not picking the purple ringers.
I do not care for them nasty, disgusting things.
I don't eat fungus either, Alex.
When I was growing up, we used to go mushroom hunting all the time with my dad. And my dad would always, if my dad had to make everybody work on the weekends, like if they were, hanging sheetrock or taping a house or whatever, my dad would always cook for everybody just to show his appreciation that, even though he told them they had to work, that my dad would cook for them. He'd smoke chickens and make ribs and, cook burgers. But one of the things they did, in the springtime was the morel mushrooms. And I'll never forget, my dad would go pick mushrooms. We'd go out and pick. And, me and my brother, we'd pick them, but my dad would fill up, 5-gallon buckets full of salt and water, and all the bugs would come floating out of them and all the crap. And, that's the only way you eat them. You got to clean them, And I'm just like, hey, I ain't eating that stuff. No way. And I never, to this day, I'll go walk, enjoy the conversations and family time, but I'm not eating them nasty things. No way.
Man, y'all are missing it. That's some good stuff.
I don't even like mushrooms on my pizza like normal grocery store mushrooms.
Nope.
I'm just not a fan of it. I don't like green olives. I just eat the black ones, not the green ones. Tammy loves the green ones.
Here, let me address Barb's newest comment real quick. So, as for Maya Rudd, her body is still being examined by a medical examiner. The mother, the father, the paternal grandmother, the paternal grandfather, and another person that was living at the house have all been charged with abuse of a corpse, failing to report a dead body, and tampering with evidence. Now, when the medical examiner report comes back and proves the cause of death, then they will all be charged accordingly.
Wow.
And hopefully they're able to do that soon.
They had to send. They were talking about having to send her off to Texas.
Man.
The way they found her, the way it was worded is, she was concealed when they found her.
Concealed like in concrete?
No, like probably buried under clothes or something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm waiting for I filed an open records request, but until the case is closed, it's going to constantly be denied. But I am in contact with Maya's family, so if they get it, they're definitely going to send it over to me. I still couldn't believe how much money we raised for the family.
That was incredible.
I didn't send the photos of all the gifts that showed up from their wish list. It was stacked from floor to ceiling.
Oh, wow.
Man.
It was pretty cool. Turned a tragedy into a positive scenario.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. I mean, if people reached out and did all that, that's awesome.
Guys, the other day I put out a video asking a question. We've never really gone in and discussed a lot of theories or broken down a lot of theories here on the channel. Seems like the few times that we did, that was taken over to other platforms. Words were put in our mouth. People were saying we were saying something that was never even said on those. So to stop that drama, we just never really done the whole theory thing over here. But we're looking at what we can do to maybe make this better, get information out there, have more information come in. So we're curious on your thoughts if we should start doing the theory breakdowns in these videos with you guys. But we would be putting disclaimers up at the beginning, at the end, and actually throughout the video or live feed that this is just theories, it's not fact. But we kind of want your feedback if you would like to see us start doing more of that, or if you think that we should possibly just keep going the way that we're doing now. So if you have an opinion on that, please put it in the comments, email us, call, text, whatever. I have had some feedback on it and would like to have more feedback come in on it before the team discusses what way we should go with that.
Now, I'm going to say something about that too. Now, keep in mind, theories are completely different from speculation. Theories are each thing that could possibly have happened in that situation, as to where people speculate and say that's exactly what happened. There's two different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sometimes it can be pretty difficult when you talk through things and you look at everything that is, supposedly rumors or accusations, or it's kind of like a lot of times when I discuss things, it's like, okay, well, this person said this, but this person is saying this over here. So now it's kind of a, it's a 50-50 situation. We need more responses from one side or the other that can share the same story to even remotely think, well, is this the logical thing that happened? Does the facts show that this happened, or is it this? And sometimes it gets really difficult when you're going over a case and all the information, and you're trying to weed out all the, unfortunately, it's just the BS, weed out all the stuff that makes absolutely no sense, that possibly couldn't have happened, and get it down to the stuff that's factual, or, actual eyewitness accounts that, can prove something one way or another. And a lot of times, I think a lot of people just don't see how difficult it really is to, go through the evidence of anything and everything that could have happened to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 'cause we've got some cases that you've got 100 different things that people have said is what happened to this person. That's the other frustrating thing, is it's not this could have possibly happened. It's the people who saying this is what happened. I know this is what happened. It's a fact. And when you question them about it, it comes down to it's a fact because they say so. It's not a fact because they've got evidence. And I'm sorry, I do rain on the parade and tell them you've got a theory, a thought. That's it. It's not fact. It's not evidence.
That's more like speculation.
Yeah.
So if we have some cases that I honestly feel, I think I know what may have happened, who may have been involved, or whatever, but it doesn't mean it's a fact because I think that. But if that's all it took to be a fact, we'd have half of our cases solved in a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And something else too is, it does take a lot to line out things, to do searches. I know a lot of people don't believe that, or people, well, why is this person doing this? We had a situation that came up, just here recently, and it's where do you draw the line, and what do you consider as trespassing? How do you look at these things? We can go walk onto a piece of property. I lost my dog. I'm trying to find my dog. We can go look at a piece of property and fly a drone. If we fly a drone over somebody's property, are we trespassing? We have so many, we have a property in the Randy Leach case that, it's an abandoned property with multiple buildings. The property's been brought up many times. There is not one single person that's related to this property that will answer the phone. The people who on the tax roll that supposedly own it, the company that supposedly owns it, the legitimate person that pays the taxes, nobody will answer their phones. So do we call the police and be like, oh yeah, by the way, this is a property that's been brought up in this case multiple times? Do we make up some reason to possibly go on the land? If the cops show up, they show up. How do you do it? What's the logical way when you've exhausted all means of gaining access?
I'm gonna give you the answer that Luther PD gave me. It's not trespassing until after you've been warned.
That is a good point.
Well, heck, I guess I'll get
If
in
it's
trouble
not
tomorrow.
posted and you're not opening a gate to go into it, it's not trespassing until you've been warned.
That's exactly what Luther PD told me in Bruce's case. If there's no
Yeah.
signs that say no trespassing and you haven't been told that it's no trespassing and law enforcement has not issued you a warning, you're not trespassing until you're warned.
Hmm.
If it's not clearly labeled no trespassing,
Look at that.
I know he's
Look
got
at
that devious look on his face.
what happened? I missed it.
He's
His
thinking,
wheels
well,
are turning.
Yeah, he's considering it. Now, Alex, does that property have any signs that you've seen?
Grass is too tall, and I didn't have my glasses on.
I mean,
And I have a safety vest, and I have a thing that I can walk, and it goes boop 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 boop. So
that is what I was told by a law enforcement agency.
yeah,
seeing even with the sign there, as long as the sign's not saying keep out, no trespassing.
I honestly believe there is not. The property has been abandoned for a very long time. Multiple buildings on the property, supposedly lots of junk, possibly farm equipment, automobiles. So yeah, it's been brought up. It's been brought up in two different situations. But from the road, I don't believe there's any signs at all. And I've reached out. I mean, Dennis has reached out. I've reached out on Facebook to the possible names of the people who are paying the taxes on it and where they live and the phone numbers that we have acquired. Nothing. No return phone calls, no answers on, Messenger through Facebook. So
Kansas has a different law on that, though.
What's their law?
To be considered trespassing, the person must have entered or remained on the property without the owner's consent or authorization. This means that the owner must have either revoked their permission for the person to be on the property or the person was never given permission in the first place. So that last part hits that.
How did the mushroom hunters get away with it?
That's what I'd like to know.
They're sneaky.
well, what isn't I know this is probably going to sound really stupid, but isn't there something that says a law that says something about foraging for food to survive? That if you are looking for food and foraging for food, I thought there was some gray area that basically allows you to Tammy's talking about foraging for turnips or something.
No, I said, so you're going to become homeless and you're looking for turnips.
Yeah, I'm gonna become homeless and be searching for turnips. So, oh, I don't know. I'm gonna go look for my lost dog. I'm gonna take a leash with me and a broken collar, and I don't care. I ain't never had a speeding ticket. The worst thing they're gonna do is slap my hand and tell me to leave if somebody shows up.
You just play dumb. Sorry, I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely a property that, one of many that need to be checked out.
See, that's frustrating because they haven't answered their phone. They haven't returned any calls from the voicemails. They haven't responded to any emails. There's just been silence on their end.
I mean, Alex, that'd be concerning though. Can you get in trouble for having a dog off the leash?
Well, my dogs don't run off, so I can put the leash on them and just drop the leash, let them go to the bathroom, walk over on the property. He still got the leash on. I just happened to drop the leash and he
Right.
got away from me. Granted, I can't call his name because he'll come running right to me.
Now, out of curiosity, is there a backside to this property where you're not going in somebody in the driveway?
It's under development.
It's under development, so that would be trespassing.
This property, the reality is this property is probably going to be gone in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying it's a situation, where, and I'm not going to go right now. I'm going to wait till closer to fall, to get in there, because they are doing work in this general area. So, and like I said, it looks like the grass and the weeds and the brush is 10, 12 foot tall right now. And what's crazy is I remember growing up and going by this property, and I remember when it was all taken care of. I remember being in middle school and high school, and somebody was evidently living in this house. And, now it's been abandoned for forever and ever,
Alex, I'll fundraise for your bond.
Okay.
We'll get you out.
That you guys can get some shirts made. It says "Free Alex."
And Alex, the person that called us and talked to us about this location to begin with, they have been on that property. Where this property is, I'm curious how many other people cut through that property. If there has become like a shortcut walkway for people walking in the area, that it's become known these people walk through here going from this road over to that road as a shortcut, does that make a difference?
I want to say on one side of the street there's a sidewalk, but to a certain point there's no sidewalks.
Because
I don't know. I really don't know. To me, this just seems like some people were walking and just decided to go exploring. Like most people do. Most people just, let's be honest. How many times have you drove down a country road, a back road? Because we used to do this all the time in Baser. Because back when I was in high school, there was so many properties. Because high school and right after high school, I bought my first brand new 4-wheeler. And so did all my friends. And we would ride all over from Baser to Tonganoxie, all the way to, Lansing. We would ride all the way to Jarbelo. We would ride all the back roads. And at that time, there was so many farms that had old houses, abandoned houses. farms. And we used to ride up to all of them and get out and go walk around and look and, pillage through stuff. And, we never did anything like breaking windows or nothing like that. We just were exploring. I only had one time when we were out riding and we got caught. And I've told you guys about that because it was actually literally at an area that has been named in Randy's case, in the Randy Leach case. And me and a bunch of my friends were riding along this creek, and we had an old man come out from around this tree, and he held a shotgun, right to me because I was the one leading. And he got out his notepad and put his gun down, and he wanted all of our names. And of course we gave fake names and he wanted phone numbers, and he was going to call all of our parents. And I can't remember if it was me or my brother, but one of us gave him the Pizza Hut, the 913-648-8888 Pizza Hut order hotline number. We gave him that phone number. But yeah, I mean, this is in one of the areas where supposedly something had happened to Randy. But yeah, and the thing is now is all those farms, that stuff's all gone now. I mean, there's new houses that have been built, there's additions that have been built. I mean, that stuff is so gone. But back in the day, everybody used to go exploring and looking,
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I get it, Mac. Just ask for forgiveness later.
Now, do we know if the property owners are still alive?
It's a company that's listed as the property owner, but if I'm not mistaken, it's an individual that's paying the taxes on it.
Yeah, and that's how I got his name, and I've reached out to him via messenger because there's no phone number, but you can track the addresses to where the person lives, and you can backtrack it. And I've reached out to him. He's been on Facebook. He's posted stuff on Facebook within a week or two of when I reached out to him. So
if you want his phone number, send me his name.
Well, I think Dennis has his phone number because he has the company's name, phone number, all that stuff.
Yeah, their headquarter company's actually in Las Vegas, but they have smaller branches around the country, including Kansas City.
Oh, I was meaning more of his personal home phone number.
Oh.
So, and that's another thing, I'm reaching out to this guy, kind of explaining the situation. I didn't give the name of the person that's missing. I just gave the details of, hey, you're this piece of property. It looks like you're the person paying the taxes on it. You have something to do with this company. This is who we are, blah, blah, blah. We would like to be able to gain permission to, look at this piece of property. We can report back to you what's going on, everything, and just nothing. Didn't even read it. And that's what, I think a lot of times, another person that we were looking for, which has been found, located deceased, I reached out to his sister, on Facebook Messenger. And, I told her that, we had, done some searches looking for him, and that Dennis's work was literally right up the street. And it was just within a week of this guy's, birthday. And I basically was just trying to verify if that picture that was floating around, that truly was a real picture, and said, our condolences for your brother. And, unfortunately, I am glad that he was found and you guys can have closure on all this. Nothing. Didn't read it. Nothing. It happens all the time.
And that also brings up, I don't know if it's a question or what, but you have a missing persons case, and sometimes the family is who reached out to us and asked us to help. But when you look at their social media, they don't have anything posted at all about their missing loved one.
Yeah, that we had that scenario in the last couple months, and it was really, it's a sad situation. Of course, anybody that's gone missing, but it's crazy how a family animal that had passed away and would have been in this household's family for years and years, 10 plus years. I mean, this animal grew up with these children, and the one sibling is brought up, but the other one is not. And there's nothing, I wish you could be here. This animal's passed away. We know you're not here. We don't know where you're at, but, and you go back and you, not to say the word troll, but you look at things and there's nothing. There's nothing that says, we miss you. Where are you? Please call us. Another birthday has passed. And there's nothing. And that to me is a red flag.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've seen that happen.
Yeah. But, how do you look at cases? How do you judge somebody for how they grieve or how they miss somebody? I mean, that's hard to do too. Everybody thinks that, you would be posting. I mean, we talked about this earlier on in the show, that you would think they would be doing whatever they could to have it in social media, but how do certain people grieve and how do people deal with things? Not everybody deals with stuff, just like somebody else might, but to me, it's just a red flag if you do not do anything. Because let's be honest, next to calling somebody, social media is the only next best, quickest way to get a hold of somebody, to put the word out. I mean, maybe after I would think social media would be faster than you getting in your car and going and telling somebody and trying to tell other family members, oh, hey, Bob didn't come home. Becca has been missing for days. I haven't seen her. I haven't heard from her. Everybody goes to social media to socialize and get the word out. So
see, and that's interesting you put it that way, because I've had this conversation when I get the trolls that come in my live stream saying, what do you think is going to happen? How is social media going to help? And this is exactly what I tell them. In the first 10, 15 minutes of my live stream, 8,000 people has already seen that missing person on social media. That's 1,000 flyers that you didn't have to pass out. That's 1,000 Actually, that's 2,000 eyes, considering both people have both eyes um, on the case.
Yeah.
Then you have those people that then share that, and it grows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's if people. That's if people will share it. You know, if you finally ask them, hey, you know, the more we do this, the chances are better that someone can be found, or either alive or unfortunately deceased. But anything is better than nothing, and I really think a lot of people don't think that way.
It's all the small things that matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's always that little bitty, tiny piece of information that solves the case and blows it wide open.
Mm-hmm.
Cam says, I can be wrong, but if we found Randy, I would think your phones would be ringing nonstop for help, maybe.
Our phone still rings nonstop.
Yeah. And how many was it?
Just on TikTok alone, this isn't including the team's cases, I get 100 to 150 messages a day about a missing person.
Crazy.
Well, you know what else is just downright crazy is to this day we have still never received one lead, one anything in the PO box.
Me and Dennis were talking about that last night.
We haven't even received a coupon book. We haven't even received junk mail.
That's odd.
I mean, I really thought by now somebody would have taken advantage of this opportunity to get something off their chest. We put it out there. You don't have to sign nothing. All you got to do is type it out, scribble it on a napkin or a piece of paper, and put it in the mail. The only thing that'll give anything away is where it's stamped at a post office. But you don't have to sign nothing. You don't have to put a return name, address on it. You
don't even got to lick the envelope or touch it with your bare hands.
Yeah. And nothing. It's just crazy.
Mm-hmm. We get more information through emails, phone calls, and social media.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we at now? 260 something cases now?
Yeah. I think it's 265.
Gonna be time for a new file cabinet soon.
Right? See, like Randy Leach's, the stuff that we have on that won't even fit in a file cabinet. We've got a file box that is just full of stuff in his case.
Here, I'll give you a good laugh. This is just Alex Van Dalsen's file.
Whoa.
You sure that's not all your love letters?
No, them were done by email. medical examiner reports, police reports, everything.
Oh God.
He's bringing out his tech.
Randy Leach.
Holy kit and caboodle.
Man, you guys are
Oh man, that's my workout for the week.
Alex is looking for something to pull up. Give him a minute. It's going to be a page.
Oh,
this is
that's not your
tonight's
color.
this is tonight's sponsor of the video. It's a Clinique, even better. Makeup broad spectrum SPF 15. Evens and corrects.
You know, you got yourself out of the doghouse by having a back screen now just to dig yourself back in.
That's all right.
And what is it about guys? We never learn.
Hey, so you want to get a good laugh. Speaking of him bringing up makeup and everything like this. So TikTok's trying to get me to monetize and promote products, right? So they keep sending me all these products, but they're women's products, bras, clothing, and everything like that. I'm like, TikTok.
It's probably because of your demographics or whatever you want to use that you have probably 90% women on your channel all the time.
Yeah, but see, 90% women, there's a reason why. Do you know
Well, yeah,
women
but if you
women
had
are
men,
more
you would
prone-
probably be getting coupons for O'Reilly's for oil and filters and lumberyard stuff.
Women, it's actually a proven statistic that women are drawn to true crime. Don't know exactly what it is about women that draws them to true crime, but it's actually proven. Now, I sent a message to the person that sent me the product. We're going to start with the bra. We're only going to discuss the bra one because I'm on live streams and you can tell I'm a man. So they said, we watch your live streams all the time. I think you'd be great for promoting this product. So I sent the person back a message and I'm like, listen, you don't want me to promote your product. I will go get something to stuff that bra with and I'll walk around in a video promoting your product. No, sir.
See, that's how rumors are going to get started that you're dressing up.
Oh my God.
Then they're going to start sharing pictures.
Well, see, that proved to me that when the organization sends you something to promote, when they say that they watch your live streams and checked out your content, that proves that they actually didn't because they would know I was a guy. So quit sending me female products to try.
It's probably all AI. I mean, let's be honest. It's probably what it is. I was trying to type something the other day, and this stupid thing kept trying to change what I was looking, and I'm like, how do you turn off the AI search thing on stuff?
Are you talking about on Facebook?
Yeah.
Facebook, TikTok, I mean, even YouTube.
TikTok's new meta search thing drove me nuts until I figured out how to use it. So instead of hitting that arrow when you go to search, hit right below there's blue writing that says search on Facebook. Click that instead.
Okay.
Yeah, because it gets annoying when Meta sends you a message. Oh, this is about this and this and this and this. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to take me straight to the link on Facebook. Not you to send me a message that told me absolutely nothing about what I was looking for.
Yep. Yep. Oh, you never know these days. The world's changing so quick. Everything's just it doesn't matter what you do. Everything gets changed one way to another. We just need to go back like a year ago. Life would be easier when it came to social media.
Yeah, I'm not wearing that bra, B. Sorry, not happening. I'd probably get banned from TikTok or receive a bunch of private messages from the wrong side of TikTok.
And the rest of us would be having nightmares for years.
Yeah.
It would definitely cause some therapy issues for somebody. I couldn't believe they sent that to me.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You know, I guess I don't know, Dan. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm going to send them your address and have them send it to you.
Okay. Well, at least they're not sending you stuff like for like growing your hair or something.
Hey, I would try that, even though I shave it all off.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know that when you look up things and search things now, it just seems like the last few weeks it's been kind of a pain in the butt.
Mm-hmm.
So, for sure. So, even Facebook Marketplace doesn't seem like it wants to work right anymore. So
we had a little discussion last night. Could you imagine say one of us went missing, and the things that we Google for cases, could you imagine if law enforcement found our phone and looked at all the things we Google for? I mean,
Oh, that'd be bad.
how long does it take for a body to decompose? I mean,
Right.
I really was thinking about this last night, and could you imagine though? Seriously,
yeah.
what environment does it take to decompose a body faster? Does a body sink or float?
That's bad.
That's
It is, but that's a valid point.
yeah. I guess just you need to be good, Dan. Don't give anybody a reason to make you disappear, vanish, or foul play, or anything like that.
Hey, I live in a mess around and find out state. That ain't gonna happen.
Oh boy. Well,
Guys, we're gonna need to be getting these youngins to bed pretty soon.
yeah.
Alex, Megan says your makeup company has competition for the sponsorship thing.
Ah, there we go.
And guys, don't forget Crooked Trail Designs. A percentage of all the proceeds comes to Muddy Waters. The Muddy Waters T-shirts. 100% of the proceeds comes to Muddy Waters.
Sweet.
And
Well,
Gunner says he might be on a federal watch list. It doesn't take much to get on those nowadays, so I'm sure stuff that we've looked up's probably got you there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Phones
I know.
already know what you're talking about without even typing it.
Yeah.
I know they would be a lot of questioning for sure.
Could you imagine if it was a rookie officer that come across that?
What kind of psychopath are we looking for?
When you say it was Dan.
I mean, come on.
I think that's why I look a lot of stuff up on your computer.
Gee, thanks. I've now got video evidence of you confessing to this. I
Well,
think you and Amy are conspiring against us.
Well, it's like Dan said, we're drawn to true crime.
Hey,
So-
listen,
You can be drawn to it, just don't create it.
listen, Alex and Dennis. Dennis, Alex, I need to give you guys forewarning. If you see your old ladies watching a true crime documentary, it's all good until you see them with a notepad in their hand taking notes.
Yeah, the little thing, well, this may help us in a future case. Ain't gonna cut it because the future case is probably me disappearing.
yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
Oh man. You guys got anything else for tonight?
I'm gonna work on both of you guys' missing flyers tonight, but that's about it.
I appreciate it, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
And when the life insurance company clears that, that's going to go for a reward to help find me.
Hey, listen, for a small fee, I'll help search, but in the wrong location. And you claim
There we go. There we go.
Oh, we're getting too carried away.
It's been a long week.
You gotta have-
Dan's gonna feel really bad if something really happens tomorrow to one of us.
Yeah, and with him offering, for a fee to be involved in this.
Yeah, I was offering to help search.
Won't be the first. It'll be the first time. Well, it won't. I guess. Never mind.
Oh,
it's been nice
shoot.
knowing you all.
Let me go fishing one more time at least.
All right. Okay. I'll let you have
She's gonna drill a hole at the bottom of the boat.
No, he's gonna be in a cave. Cave in the background is a hint. Look here.
Oh. Don't put the river
Well,
on there.
thank you to all of our audience
I'm
tonight.
going to go visit Dan.
Hey, what are you doing in my room?
Oh man, you guys use the same builder, same floor plan, same decorator.
I mean, he must have.
Man, you guys are special.
There you go.
Red brick wall. At least there's no bars in front of it.
True.
Well, thank you to all the audience for joining us tonight. Thank you to everybody that called in and talked with us live via the phone, StreamYard. So,
I know, right, Matt?
Hey, I'm not going to be the victim here.
yeah.
So, guys, as Alex said, appreciate you guys. Oh, there she is. Appreciate all you all coming on tonight. Appreciate everything you guys do to assist in these missing persons cases, bringing them home. It's nice to have nights like this where we can laugh and just be a little bit crazy. You need that.
It's fake. Don't believe him.
Go play the
Fake.
She done ratted you out, Dan.
Tell her to run over and jump on the couch.
Yeah, go jump on the couch, please.
It's a
Yeah.
corner. There's a corner. He was standing in it earlier.
If
Hey,
you
you
hear,
can play that piano, right?
if you hear a thump, that means she didn't make it to the couch.
Oh man. Well, maybe next time you can play the piano for us, Dan.
Sure.
He can't.
Or
That's
oh, you're back.
Yeah, there's the piano.
Mhm. A nice corner. I can go put him in it.
Too much. Too many comedians tonight. Look, that's the path that leads to the cave. It's another sign.
Hey, sometimes the chat needs a good laugh. They're stuck with me on live streams, the majority of them, so they know.
Yeah. There we go.
I'm gonna visit Alex for a while.
Yep.
Play a song for you? Hang on. I'll play a song for you.
Play a Taylor Swift one.
Hang on. They asked for a song.
Play a Taylor Swift one.
Now don't play a song that's going to get us kicked off, Dan.
Oh wait, that's right. I forgot. They
Don't
Yeah.
do that.
Don't do that,
yeah, they
Dan.
don't like that.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Just sing it a cappella or something.
What is that?
No,
Is
your
that-
bus or your drums.
Hey, let her sing. Don't let Dan sing.
No, I can't sing.
We're
without
not
lyrics.
replacing no windows here, guys.
Okay, you'd be the one replacing the windows over here.
Better be careful, Dan.
Hey, she goes to sleep before I do.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what I did to her this week?
No.
I wrapped her tablet up and put it in a box and told her something came in the mail for her.
I hit him a bunch of times. He jumped 10 feet in the air.
Oh, that's mean.
Oh, we better end this before she starts telling everybody Dan's secrets.
Yeah, guys, it's about that time. Our kid's gonna have to get to bed too. I'm gonna have to get to bed too.
Yeah.
So,
Well-
guys, appreciate you all being on here tonight. If you have any information on cases you'd like to get out to us, all our contact information is in the video descriptions. If you have a case you'd like us to look at, if you would like to schedule a time to join us on a live feed, reach out to us, let us know. We'll get that scheduled. And we appreciate all of you.
Yes. Thank you to everybody.
100%.
So with that, you guys have a good night. Take care, and we will see you guys down the road.
Bye.
See you, everybody.